Hello everyone, it's your man Lash. You know how I do. I always get you guys amazing videos that will blow your mind. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please endeavor to do so. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you very much. You know what's been trending on the internet? Recently, Diddy was arrested. Today's video is about Jay-Z. Jay-Z fled after Diddy was arrested. I guess he must be guilty to have fled away. Now I'm not going to say much about this. This video is going to explain everything that happened. So without wasting much of your time, let's go into it.
Jay-Z ain't answering the phone?
He ain't answering the phone.
50 says not even Diddy can get a hold of Jay-Z. Following Diddy's arrest, rumor has it that the FBI has begun investigating Jay-Z over his role in racketeering and sex trafficking. Yet no one seems to know anything about Jay-Z, who isn't making a move to clear his name. Following his deafening silence, many believe that he must have fled the country with his wife Beyonce. But the truth of what has happened is far worse than that. Jay-Z disappears amidst Diddy's legal troubles. Not even Beyonce in the middle could stop these two from getting so close. And now that his dear friend might have needed him the most, Jay-Z has reportedly gone missing. For years, the Roc Nation exec and his wife Beyonce have shared a close relationship with Diddy. They have attended his all-white parties and other events together, leaving fans envious of their refreshingly close bond.
And united we stand, and ain't nothing else to us.
Jay-Z has even been pictured in Diddy's home enjoying some bromance alongside other black male celebrities, with all the men suited up while making a toast to happy beginnings. But we will circle in on their friendship much later. Let's see what people are saying now that the Brooklyn native has gone MIA following Diddy's sexual abuse scandals. First, let it be clear that neither Jay-Z nor his wife Queen Bee have been mentioned in any lawsuit put forward by Diddy's accusers. It is not certain if they are under investigation yet either. However, the close rapport the couple shared with Diddy makes many wonder why they have distanced themselves from the disgraced rapper. Back in June 2024, it was reported that Jay-Z and Beyonce were webbed in a conspiracy theory flying online. A media outlet, Page 6, claimed that the duo disappeared suspiciously, and it could be traced to Diddy's home raid that happened in March. A tipster confessed to the outlet that this under-the-radar move by the duo would never have happened if their friend wasn't embroiled in the hot mess, including sexual assault claims that poured down heavily this year. According to this person, it was a time for Beyonce to shine following the release of her Cowboy Carter album, but somehow she and her husband are keeping a low profile. Here's the juice to the story. Recall when Jay-Z trolled the Grammy Awards on stage for refusing to allow his wife win in the Album of the Year category. Well, the insider claimed that with the release of Cowboy Carter, Beyonce's country-themed album, the moment had presented itself for a big win. However, the singer is very much absent and doing little to promote her efforts in front of the Grammy organizers and among her fans. The insider blurted, "But now what? Does he think she will win? For Cowboy Carter with no promotion, no appearances, and no wooing of the Academy, something is going on." Beyonce's album came out with a bang, #1 everywhere. Now it and she have disappeared. While this might have been sheer speculation, something else happened that allowed the couple's disappearance narrative to gain momentum. Erykah Badu challenged Beyonce for stealing her signature style following the release of the Cowboy Carter album cover. As expected, this accusation led to a media war, with Beyonce being represented by her publicists. Not once did Mrs. Carter address Badu's speculations. And of course, this only makes Jay-Z and Beyonce's withdrawal from the public space more obvious. Diddy, as we all know, is in a lot of trouble right now. From late last year to earlier in the year, the music icon kept swimming in an overwhelming tide of lawsuits. Opening the floodgates of this hell was Cassie Ventura, a woman who for a long time was Diddy's partner. Together, they won the hearts of many by being the power couple in the industry following their decade-long romance. Guys, Cassie was like the yin to Diddy's yang. The singer once shared how protective he was of her following her appearance as a romantic partner in a 2016 movie.
So let me ask you, in the movie you have, I guess, some very intimate scenes. Yeah. So I'm wondering about the boyfriend, Diddy, whether he came to the set to make sure everything was copacetic with you.
No, he actually really trusted the situation. Him and Terrence spoke beforehand.
So what the heck changed? Well, what happened in Diddy's mansions and romance with Cassie stayed with her until in November 2023 when she slammed him with a lawsuit. According to the singer's lawsuit, Diddy assaulted her sexually, physically, and emotionally. He raped, drugged, and forced her to have sex with male prostitutes. prostitutes while he watched and pleasured himself. If you're wondering how this is linked to Jay, just hang in there. Remember that these two are one of the industry's closest buddies. See for yourself the smiles, the handshakes, the hugs, the loose holds, the toast, the twinning in outfits, the eye-to-eye stare, the groping, and just look at them posing, claiming to support Black excellence while introducing their business alliance to the world. Now back to Diddy's legal drama. Even though these buddies were inseparable, was there a possibility that Jay might have been unaware of what was going on in his buddy's personal life? Well, that is highly unlikely. But what seems crystal clear is that he was a frequent face in those Diddy's parties, which have now been presented as the hub of his freak-offs according to court documents. Months after Cassie's lawsuit, music producer Lil Rod Jones hit Diddy with the unexpected as the world starred in shock. In his own lawsuit filed in February 2024, he claimed that the rapper assaulted him sexually and tried to pimp him out to Cuba Gooding Jr. during a yacht trip. He also alleged that Diddy's all-white parties were often freak-offs, where the high and mighty did
It's crazy to understand, to see how Diddy pimp younger men to other celebrities, to other celebrity men. That is fruity, that's scraping, and it doesn't sit well with me at all.
unspeakable things. Lil Rod alleged that top music executives, Hollywood stars, politicians, and state dignitaries all enjoyed this party where they had uncensored access to underage girls and drugs. Just last week in court, Diddy was charged with a string of offenses when Damian Williams, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, unsealed the indictment. Among these list of charges were sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Williams further shared,
Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers.
During the same press briefing, the U.S. Attorney hinted that Diddy was not acting alone.
Now, Combs did not do this all on his own.
Yo, guys, Combs didn't do this all on his own. So definitely what they're trying to tell us is that he had accomplices and people who are involved in this with him. So I think that's why we're hearing rumors Jay-Z's fleeing the country, Kevin Hart is fleeing the country. Some other big celebrities are fleeing the country because they know that when Diddy is caught, then people who committed that crime with Diddy will also be involved. So most of them are leaving. Now it's getting
As
terror.
I mentioned, Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way.
This leaves many guessing just who these close associates might be. But as we all know, for years, Jay has been a close friend and associate to Diddy. Recall when Diddy had some men promoting Black excellence over at his house? Listen to what he had to say.
And it's different than when it was 2016. The game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a Black billionaires lunch. You understand? Right. And we here together, and we're gonna keep staying together. We getting tighter.
Tighter, staying together. Really? Without a doubt, these other celebrities, especially Jay-Z, did have a very close bond with the accused. Now here's where it gets more interesting, and how the whole charade might have a Jay-Z in the mix. More than once, Jay has been caught on camera as an attendee to these Diddy's parties. In fact, right from day one, the Roc Nation boss has been an active participant in the all-white parties. Photo evidence now going viral is beginning to prove that they were indeed close bros who might have understood the bro code of not snitching on each other. From Jay-Z, sleeping in a king-size bed with Diddy, to smiling infectiously next to the alleged suspect. In no small way have these proofs solidified the doubt in the hearts of many. On X, many speculate that Jay-Z was well into the freak-offs with Diddy. It is popular opinion that Jay-Z and Diddy have been unafraid to flaunt their close bond. This is a relationship that they developed during their early years as young rappers. They made music together and formed an even tougher bond off camera. During the 90s, they were engaged in a similar controversy that involved violence and risked going to jail. While Jay-Z had reportedly stabbed a man, Diddy was involved in a club shooting, yet somehow they managed to avoid jail time. This experience further intensified their bond, and they showed unwavering support for each other, even to the point that they began to diss the same artist together. Back in 2007, Jay-Z and Diddy Diddy had beef with 50 Cent, and they made it known through their music. But during one of their performances at the Screamfest '07, 50 jumped on stage to troll the guys while they performed. While this might have been uncomfortable for the team, Diddy sure had a way of calming the tension, and right there on stage, the rapper tapped on Jay-Z's butt multiple times. At the time, it must have been hard to interpret, but given the current circumstance and 50's constant trolling of these two friends, this was proof fans needed to believe that the duo must have been deeply understanding of each other. Decades later,
Yo, guys, have you ever seen a guy hitting another guy or another man on the butt? It doesn't make sense to me. If a man gets to touch another man's butt constantly, then he's somehow sexually attracted to him. You know, there's nothing you can tell me. Some of these men around are fruity, but they just don't want to come out of their closet and let people know, so they just play around with other men, and you might see it like, oh, they're just joking. But trust me, they are attracted to this person they're playing with. Just like we saw Diddy spanking on Jay-Z's butt. It's not common. So they have something going in behind closed doors. That's why he could do that in public on stage.
their friendship remained intact, with Diddy suggesting that he would go into business with Jay-Z. During an interview, he said, "Me and Jay, we've talked about it. We said we want to pick the best one. It's going to have to be that one thing that gets it all the way popping." They really did some popping months later, but right after March 2024, that friendship ceased to exist in the eyes of the public. More recently, rumors of Jay-Z and Beyonce being under the investigators' radar have even begun to fly. While this isn't corroborated yet, one piece of information social media users have decided to take seriously is that which comes out of 50 Cent's mouth. For years, the Candy Shop rapper has trolled Diddy while accusing him of sleeping with men. Turns out he might just be correct following the charges being cited against Diddy. But 50 has also weighed in on Jay-Z's disappearance following Diddy's legal woes. According to Diddy and Jay-Z's longtime online enemy, 50, the Roc Nation founder decided to rock no more with his pal following the raid in Diddy's homes in Miami and Los Angeles. According to one of 50's posts, Jay-Z went missing in a rather short time. In a follow-up post, 50 shared an image of Jay-Z's face printed on a box of milk with the caption, "Anyone seen Jay? LOL." Puff said the nigga ain't answering his phone. LOL. A few weeks later, 50 updated fans on Jay-Z's seemingly silent mood, which included fewer public appearances. The rapper shared, "Jay in hibernation, he ain't coming outside till this shut with Puff blow over, bowl brunch, no lunch, no dinner, LOL, I am all you got him outside." 50 did go hard again when he specifically hinted that not only was Jay-Z MIA, but he wasn't willing to talk to Diddy.
Jay-Z ain't answering the phone?
He ain't answering my phone.
Turns out that Jay-Z might not be the only one to be investigated if any investigation is to happen. As Diddy continues to feel the heat behind bars, the bro
Yo, guys, it is happening already. It is happening. These celebrities can sense it. They have lawyers, they have people who are the radio station, the TV station, on the internet, who are keeping them up to date with what's happening. So when they knew that Diddy has been arrested and the case was not going to be dropped easily, they took for their heels, And we're going to find out the list of people, at least allegedly, a part of this.
Metropolitan Detention Center, where he is being held up. His friends are being grilled on the internet. Jay-Z, other Hollywood stars scared to speak out. Towards the weekend, my mixtape shared a throwback image on their X page. The photo was captured on July 4th, 2000. To mark the 4th of July celebration, Diddy hosted a celeb-themed party, and somehow he managed to convince these folks to lay in bed with him for a quick shot. In the photo was Jennifer Lopez, Diddy's lover at the time. So was Aaliyah, the now-deceased singer who smiled brightly as she posed closely to Diddy. Soon, other tweets on X unearthed more photos from the event and subsequent parties, and of course Jay-Z, among a host of other known faces in the music industry, including Diddy's mom, Janice, also laid in bed with Diddy. Fans did not waste time in challenging Jay-Z's involvement in these alleged freak-offs. One person tweeted, "Don't forget Jay-Z was there too." Another wrote, "Hold on, wasn't it exposed that Diddy had a big white bed in his backyard? Because this white bed is also in his backyard," a third commenter added. "I wonder who's the friend will stand by him now during his difficult times."
Man, guys, I saw that mattress on the internet. Who does that? Like, who has a 50 feet size mattress in their compound, in the house? It's outside his house when I saw it on the internet. Pretty big bed. Pretty, really big. You know, and that's where sometimes these freak offs happen because they get to hang out around there, and when it's time, everybody hump on the bed and they're all laughing and dancing, and then things get to happen.
Look at them, all happy, etc. Surprisingly, with the Jay-Z slander going on, Beehive fandom decided to step in for Queen Bee. Amid the controversy circling Jay-Z and Beyonce into Diddy's legal struggles, fans say that the power couple are far from guilty. A Reddit poster emphasized that Diddy's indictment charges failed to mention the power couple, yet some naysayers feel the need to drag them into it. The person added that other known faces, including User and Neo, who were mentioned in the indictment, have gotten a free pass. Whatever the argument, the truth remains that Jay-Z and Beyonce have not been as active as they used to following Diddy's downfall. Just maybe as the trial journey continues to unfold, Jay-Z might be there to testify in favor of his friend, but that is highly unlikely, as you would soon find out that not only Jay-Z, but a handful of Diddy's other friends are staying mute. They have also decided to distance themselves away from Diddy's indictment charges, as some are maintaining a low profile. Others are deleting tweets and unfollowing Diddy from social media. Although Diddy's indictment charges have ignited a reaction from 50 Cent, Aubrey O'Day, and some others, those whose names are closely linked to Diddy and partied with him are staying mute. This list includes Leonardo DiCaprio, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Ashton Kutcher, Paris Hilton, Howard Stern, Russell Brand, Mariah Carey, Jennifer Lopez, Russell Simmons, Usher, Megan Fox, Justin Bieber.
Let's go. So many names have been mentioned now. So many celebrity names have been mentioned, and trust me, this is so interesting to watch. People are getting this information and are having the antennas already to get the information, the news when it's really out. Because I know Diddy definitely is going to be he's going to face his trial, and if he's found guilty, he's going to go to jail. So most of his celebrity friends who were involved in this freak-off party, they are beginning to get scared, and some of them are fleeing away. So let's keep listening to the list of names that are involved in this freaky party with him. Allegedly, remember.
Pink and the Kardashians. An officer involved in raiding Diddy's home has clarified that not all who went to Diddy's party are complicit, but he claimed that a handful of the attendees enjoyed the 15 years of freak-offs.
The names, and what you're going to find here, it's the same circle. 15 years of freak-out parties. Who do you think went through there? Everybody. They went through there. Now, does it mean they're all complicit in trafficking? No, but they saw stuff. And they talk about it, and they know what happens at midnight.
However, out of all the names listed to be a part of Diddy's frequent parties, rumor has it that the Kardashians might have their hands in more of the dirt.
Allegedly, the Kardashians are mixed up in this, that there's some documents, there's some proof, evidence that people were being drugged, and then things were being recorded, videotaped.
Amid these accusations, not one of the Kardashians have come out to utter a word. Meanwhile, the likes of Leonardo DiCaprio has refused to sink with the ship. The Titanic actor maintained that he hasn't hung out with Diddy in years. But as for the others, their silence is rather deafening. While some fans believe the silence is due to these celebs not implicating themselves, Eric Schiffer, CEO of Reputation Management, claimed, "Celebrities are silent because they are scared to death of their brands bleeding out with fans over ties to Diddy. And worse, they fear if they cross him, things could end in disaster." Meanwhile, according to Doug Eldridge, the loud silence from these celebs are due to many factors. The Achilles PR founder shared, first, the nature of the allegations are fairly gruesome, from sex trafficking to purported drugging and so forth. The scope and scale of evidence that was collected during the federal raid included phones, computers, and now more than 50 individuals who are reportedly cooperating as witnesses. Third, the purported depth and reach of those who might be complicit and therefore compromised for having participated in Diddy's illicit sex parties is staggering. Now, as for those with even closer ties with Diddy who refused to stay quiet following the name dropping, they did make a move many online have since termed as silly. While Usher, Pink, and Fox have not explicitly addressed the rumors, they have tampered with contents on their social media accounts. Following the brouhaha surrounding the case, an old interview where Usher told Howard Stern about his experiences with Diddy resurfaced. According to him, as a 15-year-old, he witnessed some wild things in Diddy's home and at the time didn't think he could indulge in them. As the clip went viral, Usher allegedly wiped off his old tweets on X. But surprisingly, the R&B singer claimed that his account was hacked. Like Usher, Pink and Fox deleted any online post that triggered any hint that they were linked to Diddy. Apart from making themselves the spotlight with these moves, many wonder if truly these celebrities are hiding something. Meanwhile, one Philadelphia rapper whose closeness to Diddy cannot be refuted is Meek Mill. In Lil Rod's lawsuit, Meek Mill has sexual relations with Diddy while dating Nicki Minaj.
Yo, God have mercy. Sometimes what these celebrities do behind closed doors is so outrageous, and they come in our faces, they come right in front of us, and they act all, composed, organized, like role models, icons. But in real life, they are doing things that are really, really nasty, things that are disgusting. Being fruity and hiding your identity is just not right. It means that you're indulging in something that you're not proud of, but just because of fame, you want to do it. So Meek Mills was having a sexual relationship with Diddy. Boom, shakalita. That is crazy. Let's get into it. Let's keep
Yet the
watching.
rapper constantly denies it. Ever since the news and an alleged recorded sex tape of him and Diddy was released, the internet has been heavy on him with criticism. Funnily enough, Meek's way out has not been to delete posts, but to make more posts clarifying his name. Days after Diddy was locked up and denied bail for the second time, Meek challenged fans to prove that he had any romantic connection to the music mogul. He even offered $1 million to the investigator who would prove otherwise. Meek tweeted, "I will personally give you $1 million if these stories add up in anything weird beyond trench hood level. It's two things we can't do in the trenches. It's no way y'all know what type of man I am. Cybertruck at 12 Tap and Lil Buddy." With everyone deciding to distance themselves from Diddy after this storm, it begs the one question of everyone's lips. Is it true? Did Diddy do it? Well, according to these lawsuits, they say he did it, a song 50 Cent has been singing for years. But let's view the facts of the case to determine. Cassie, who was 19 when she met a 37-year-old Diddy, told the world that she was abused several times in the relationship. In her 35-page lawsuit, he controlled her personal and professional life, making it difficult for her to flee his grip. Cassie cited sexual assault, battery, and sex trafficking as her charges against him. According to her, Diddy instructed her to carry a firearm for him in her purse and coerced her to engage in sexual acts with male prostitutes while he watched, arched, and filmed it. He also raped her, according to the lawsuit. But before these words dried on paper, the singer asked the court to dismiss her lawsuit. The former lovers were noted to have settled the matter out of court. On November 23, 2023, a day before New York's Adult Survivors Act was to expire, a woman named Liza Gardner brought forth her own Diddy abuse story. The lawsuit claimed that at 16, Diddy and Aaron Hall forcefully had sex with her. They first met in New York following the release of an album. Allegedly, Diddy invited her to Hall's apartment for an after party, and that was when he forced himself on her. Hall also did the same thing, and much later Gardner realized that her friend also fell victim to these men. As if that was not enough, she claimed that Diddy tracked her home and physically assaulted her until she passed out. In a lawsuit filed on December 2nd, 2023, an unnamed woman also said that Diddy and Harve Pierre, former president of Bad Boys Records, raped her at 17. After meeting Pierre in a lounge, she followed him on a private jet, following his plans to introduce her to Diddy. Although she met Diddy in a New York studio, the rapper, Pierre, and an unnamed man joined in gang raping her after lacing her drink with drugs. As for the fourth complainant filed on March 1st, 2024, Joy Dickerson, she wasn't a high school student. Joey, who was already studying at Syracuse University, claims that she went on a date with Diddy in 1991, but Diddy decided to drug her intentionally before making out with her. Joey claimed that Diddy recorded the sexual act as days later, a male acquaintance confessed that he and everyone else had watched her sex tape with Diddy. After Diddy's home raid on May 21st, 2024, Crystal McKinley slammed him with a lawsuit. In her lawsuit, she was a 22-year-old model when she met the rapper. While attending a fashion show in New York, they met, and Diddy promised to push her career. However, later that day, after he plied her drink, the rapper forced her to perform oral sex on him. Despite committing such an offense, Diddy's alleged victims say that he blackballed her in the modeling industry. On May 23, 2024, another woman named April Lampros stated that during her time as a college student at the Fashion Institute of Technology, she met Diddy, who promised her mentorship. Like Cassie, Lampros's encounters with Diddy were more than once. In the course of their relationship, he did shower her with gifts, but according to Lampros, she endured about 4 terrifying sexual encounters. The first time was in 1995 when he pressured her to drink and raped her. But after placating her with gifts, he forced her to perform oral sex on him.
Yo, that's the thing, man. What I noticed with these celebrity guys that are very powerful and very rich is that they use their power and their money to seduce and to attract these young ladies who are desperate, trying to get a career out of what they are chasing, maybe modeling, music, acting, whatever it is. They lure them, they have power, they shower them with gifts, and make them understand that, hey, whatever I say you have to do, because this is how I got where I am. So if you want to get to the top, you have to follow everything I say. And this is how they get convinced to indulge in all this stuff after being drugged, because if you meet a person who wants to help you get to the pedestal, climb up on the ladder, you always want to be respectful, listen to everything they say, and say whatever they ask you to do when it comes to the proper stuff. But some of these celebrities take advantage of that because they're powerful, and they as these young upcoming model celebrities that come to them for help in their career.
Following year, Diddy forced Lampros and his deceased ex, Kim Porter, to have sex with each other before proceeding to rape Lampros. As for the fourth time, it never happened. Lampros explained that during Diddy's romance with J-Lo, he has forced her to have sex with him by invading her apartment with his security, but Lampros was able to fight it out by ordering him out of her home. Earlier this month, September 10th, Dawn Richards filed a 55-page lawsuit. Dawn was a member of Diddy's musical group known as Danity Dane, and then Diddy's Dirty Money. Dawn accused Diddy of sexual abuse, false imprisonment, sexual battery, and sex trafficking, but most importantly, she supported Cassie's claims. According to her lawsuit, Diddy was often chalking and strangling Miss Ventura, striking her with his hands and with objects, slapping her, punching her, and throwing items at her, including a scalding hot pan. When Dawn tried to help Cassie, Diddy threatened her life. But according to this lawsuit, Cassie was not the first victim. She alleged that Kim Porter equally suffered physical abuse from Diddy. On top of hitting his lovers, the music icon also partied with underage girls whom he often drugged, but he never saw anything wrong in his actions. Mr. Combs repeatedly said things like, "This is a buffet. Enjoy yourselves. This is what we do. This is how we party." Richard's lawsuit states. One of the heavyweight claims has been from Lil Rod Jones. The music producer not only confirmed that Diddy assaulted him, he claimed that there are a host of other prominent people who participated in what Diddy called freak-offs. In the 75-page The Producer, Diddy was a groomer, and he got away with several sexual misconduct. According to the lawsuit, Diddy wanted Lil Rod to produce several songs on a rhythm and blues album titled The Love Album, Off the Grid, which he agreed to. But unfortunately, this work relationship impacted his life negatively. During the time that they worked together, Lil Rod claimed that he resided in Diddy's home, and that was when he witnessed, experienced, and endured many things that went far beyond his role as a producer on the Love Album. Lil Rod assured the court in his lawsuit that he had several pieces of evidence that confirmed the claims against Diddy, including witness statements, audio and video recordings, and pictures. According to the complaint, Mr. Combs required Mr. Jones to record him constantly. As a result, Mr. Jones has secured hundreds of hours of footage and audio records of Mr. Combs, his staff, and his guests engaging in serious illegal activity. The lawsuit goes on to name several high-profile figures in the entertainment industry, including Diddy's son Justin Dior Combs, his chief of staff Christina Coram, former Motown Records CEO Ethiopia Habtemariam, and Universal Music Group chief executive Lucian Grange. Lil Rod affirmed that the network of involvement amounted to a violation of the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO. In his filing, Justin Combs' name stands out as he is accused of soliciting sex workers and underage girls for Diddy's freaks-offs, as well as participating in the sexual encounters. There were also allegations that Justin and Diddy might have killed G, Justin's friend, as they were the only people present during the murder. The CEO of Universal Music Group, Lucian Grange, also among Lil Rod's list. According to Lil Rod, Grange aided and abetted Diddy in racketeering and sex trafficking. However, Grange quickly shut down TW rumors, calling them completely untrue and absurd. He further threatened to take legal actions. As for Diddy's chief of staff, Christina Coram, Lil Rod alleged that Coram was in charge of supervising the freak-offs. On top of that, it was habeas duty to distribute drugs and solicit for prostitutes and underage girls. In the lawsuit, there were details that pointed to Coram forcing Lil Rod to walk in line. The lawsuit states that, on multiple occasions, defendant Coram forced Mr. Jones to carry Mr. Combs' drug pouch against his will. Lil Rod also name-dropped Young Miami, who he said transported a drug called Tucci across state lines for Diddy. This Tucci is a pink drug that is a combination of ecstasy and cocaine. Remember, we earlier highlighted Cuba Gooding Jr. as a participant of the freak-offs. Well, the music producer established in his filing that he was introduced to the actor following Diddy's decision to grooming him and pass him off to his friends. This screenshot captured the encounter as provided by Lil Rod, who claimed Cuba began to touch him in sensitive areas, including thighs, buttons, and shoulders. Immediately, Lil Rod rejected his advances, yet Cuba persisted until he was forced to stop following a push from the producer. This earmarked the beginning of an intense investigation into Diddy's alleged involvement in.
Yo, I was really shocked when I heard that Cuba Goodings was involved in this. I used to admire his art, but just like I said, you never can tell what all these celebrities are doing behind closed doors. They're always getting freaky, 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 extremely. And now everything is coming to the light. Let's keep going, babe.
Various criminal activities. However, Diddy continued to maintain his innocence. More than 8 months later, and Diddy's home has been raided, with authorities finding more clues leading into his sexual misconduct and violent nature.
And they seize cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs. More than 1,000 bottles altogether.
U.S. Attorney William also revealed that the authorities discovered AR-15S, the large-capacity drum magazine, and damning recordings of the freak-offs. As for who is on these recorded tapes, it's something only time would reveal. In the case of Sean Diddy Combs, karma might just be a battle-tested boomerang that comes right back at you. It is safe to say that the sinister details of the rapper's longtime freak-off parties have heavily backfired on him. The label boss's creepy dealings took center stage in his ongoing legal woes that started as a butterfly effect in November 2023. And oh, it does get worse. Diddy's parties weren't just wild freak-offs.
I think half the people there were butt naked.
The FBI's latest revelations will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about the hip-hop mogul's infamous bashes. Grim tales of Diddy's freak-offs. A few days after the embattled Bad Boy Records boss Sean Diddy Combs was apprehended by law enforcement at his hotel in New York, the FBI swung into action with a series of legally backed reports concerning his clandestine affairs, violence, and RICO standard activities. This comes many months after Diddy's ex, Cassie Ventura, and former producer Lil Rod, among many others, accused him of sexual misconduct, domestic violence, and inappropriate behavior. In the 14-page indictment levied against Diddy, federal authorities outlined and highlighted charges including racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transporting for prostitution. However, this barely scratched the surface as Diddy's famous freak-offs took center stage as the medium with which he and his cohorts indulged in levels of hedonism that will leave you shell-shocked. The allegations revealed a pattern of abuse and criminal activity that spanned over a decade. The indictment alleges that Diddy, along with his associates, engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse toward women and other individuals. The charges include manipulating women to participate in freak-offs, elaborate sex parties involving multiple commercial sex workers, and using physical violence, drugs, and threats to control his victims. As the investigation continued, more disturbing details emerged. Diddy allegedly orchestrated these freak-offs with meticulous planning, booking hotel rooms, stocking them with controlled substances, and recording the encounters. The indictment paints a grim picture of a man who used his power and influence to exploit and abuse those around him. The impact on the victims was devastating. In the indictment, Diddy was exposed for how he allegedly manipulated women to engage in sex acts with male sex workers while he watched and sometimes recorded the encounters. He is accused of using physical violence, drugs, and threats to control his victims. From striking and punching to dragging and kicking, the abuse was relentless. One particularly disturbing incident occurred in March 2016 at a Los Angeles hotel, where Diddy was caught on video kicking, dragging, and throwing a vase at a woman attempting to leave. Though the indictment does not name singer Cassie, it is widely believed that she was one of Diddy's victims. In her lawsuit filed last November, Cassie claimed that Diddy would hide her away after beating her. The indictment corroborates this, stating that Diddy's associates often required victims to remain in hiding for several days to recover from injuries inflicted by Combs. The evidence against Diddy is extensive. The indictment accuses him of drug possession with intent to distribute, including cocaine, oxycodone, alprazolam, MDMA, Nexus, GHB, and ketamine. This draws us back to early 2024, when federal agents upped the level of investigation on Diddy, ransacking some of his mansions. The raid rocked the music world and the internet at large. On a bright Miami morning, federal agents arrived at Diddy's sprawling mansion, armed with search warrants and a mission to uncover the truth. The opulent estate, known for its grandeur and luxury, was about to become the epicenter of a sensational investigation. As agents made their way through the front gates, they were met with the sight of marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and priceless artwork. But their focus was on something far more significant. The search began in Diddy's private office, a room filled with mahogany furniture and state-of-the-art technology. Behind a massive desk, agents discovered a hidden safe. After a few tense moments, the safe was opened, revealing stacks of cash totaling over $1 million. Alongside the money, they found a collection of rare and valuable jewelry, including diamond-encrusted watches and custom-made chains. Moving to the master bedroom, agents encountered a walk-in closet that could rival any high-end boutique. Designer clothes, shoes, and accessories filled the space, but a hidden compartment at the back of the closet caught their attention. Inside, they found a stash of high-end firearms, including several handguns and semi-automatic rifles, each meticulously maintained and stored in custom cases as a collection of surveillance equipment. Cameras, microphones, and recording devices were all neatly organized, suggesting that Diddy had been keeping a close eye on his surroundings. Authorities also confiscated other unbelievable freak-off supplies, including narcotics, lubricants, and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil. During the raids, authorities uncovered 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers and ammunition. Diddy allegedly used these weapons and drugs to exert control over his victims, tracking their locations, monitoring their medical records, and dictating their appearance. As reports of Diddy's alleged crimes began to spread in 2023, he reportedly harassed victims and pressured witnesses through bribery to stay silent and not cooperate with law enforcement. Diddy often called victims, providing them with a false narrative of events to cover up his crimes. 2 of these phone calls were allegedly recorded, adding to the mounting evidence against him. The indictment also implicates Diddy's high-ranking associates within Combs' enterprise. They are accused of being part of a criminal organization engaged in sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion, and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. While this is an extensive revelation from authorities, industry members like Jaguar Wright have been vocal about Diddy's hidden affairs.
These is wild. They pay big to do damage and procure victims.
The coordinated efforts of Diddy's associates ensured that his criminal activities remained hidden for years. The public reaction has been intense, with fans, celebrities, and industry insiders expressing a mix of shock, disbelief, and outrage. Social media platforms have been flooded with comments and discussions as people grapple with the disturbing allegations against one of the most influential figures in music. The broader implications of the indictment extend beyond Diddy himself. The case has reignited conversations about the abuse of power and exploitation within the music industry. It has drawn parallels to other high-profile cases, such as those involving R. Kelly and Harvey Weinstein, highlighting the pervasive issue of sexual misconduct and abuse in positions of power. The indictment serves as a stark reminder that no one is above the law and that victims' voices must be heard and taken seriously. For the music industry, the indictment has prompted a reckoning. Artists, executives, and fans are calling for greater accountability and transparency. There is a growing demand for systemic changes to prevent such abuses from occurring in the future. The case against Diddy has underscored the need for robust safeguards and support systems to protect vulnerable individuals within the industry. In response to the indictment, Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, issued a statement vehemently denying the allegation. He described the prosecution as unjust and urged the public to reserve judgment until all the facts were presented in court. Agnifilo emphasized Diddy's contributions to the music industry, his philanthropic efforts, and his role as a loving family man. He insisted that Diddy is an imperfect person, but not a criminal, and expressed confidence that his client would be exonerated. Diddy's legal team has vowed to fight like hell for his release, and the music mogul himself has remained cooperative with the investigation. He voluntarily relocated to New York in anticipation of the charges, signaling his willingness to face the legal battle head-on. However, the gravity of the allegations and the extensive evidence presented in the indictment have cast a long shadow over his once sterling reputation. Creepy purpose of Diddy's businesses in his parties. The investigations and staggering revelations in Sean Diddy Combs' latest indictment did not just cast the spotlight on his involvement in organized crime. It also sheds light on the method and mode with which the rapper and his inner circle operated. This mode of operation heavily involved his various successful businesses, which were all listed in the legal documents. Diddy rose to fame in the 1990s as a record executive, producer, and rapper. He founded Bad Boy Records, launching the careers of iconic artists like the Notorious Big, Faith Evans, and Mace. His entrepreneurial spirit extended beyond music, with ventures in fashion, spirits, and media, amassing a fortune and solidifying his status as a cultural icon. However, beneath all that success story, and the semblance of the American dream, Diddy's various enterprises served more sinister purposes. The indictment listed these businesses as Bad Boy Entertainment, Comb Enterprises, and Combs Global. While all these seemed normal on the surface, they shrouded organized crimes under the umbrella name Comb Enterprises. This conglomerate of businesses, also known as the Enterprise, included a leadership, members, and associates, although this was not a legal entity. The Enterprise, which reportedly operated in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, was engaged in interstate and foreign commerce activities. Primarily, these commercial activities were labeled unlawful. Individuals involved in the Enterprise included Combs business employees, such as security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors. Amid all of these, the Combs Enterprise had a nefarious purpose. As stated in the documents, the enterprise includes entertainment, lifestyle industries, television networks, and media companies. On a deeper level, Combs' enterprise staff and associates were there to protect and aid his unscrupulous activities. Their goals were all about fulfilling Diddy's personal desires, particularly his uncanny sexual gratification of exploiting women and sex workers. Members of the enterprise enabled the star rapper's sexual violence, weird enticement to engage in prostitution, and concealing all these acts. You might be wondering why Diddy's affairs were not exposed long ago. Well, the music mogul had his way with coercion. He was known for commanding loyalty in his inner circle of staff through violence and threats. Everyone in his syndicate worked hand in hand to prevent detection and prosecution by law enforcement. They would manipulate, bribe, and threaten retaliation against individuals who witnessed the crimes committed. What were the means and methods with which Combs Enterprise displayed its activities? The rapper and those the document described as Combs Enterprise associates wielded power and prestige enough to threaten and lure female victims into their den of crime. This was reportedly done under the guise of romantic relationships. Combs will then proceed to use force and threats of force to make victims engage in sexual acts with male sex workers. These often happened during the freak-off parties. To set the stage for this series of sex parties, these events were meticulously planned, with Diddy's staff members booking hotel rooms and stocking them with controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, and specialized lighting. Diddy's associates played a crucial role in facilitating these freak-offs. They were responsible for ensuring the rooms were prepared and cleaned after the events to mitigate any damage.
You send someone ahead to prepare the hotel room for you.
It's called preparing the sexy.
Once, in an old interview with Conan O'Brien, Diddy infamously alluded to his freaky parties by admitting to specially preparing hotel rooms for his arrival. Diddy's freak-offs were frequent, often lasting multiple days at a stretch, and they often involved multiple sex workers. In the heat of the moment, the rapper would distribute an array of controlled substances, partly to keep them obedient and in compliance. During the freak-offs and at separate times, Diddy was up to all levels of violence with victims, from hauling objects to hitting, kicking, and dragging victims by their hair. Unknown to the victims, the father of 7 also filmed and kept videos of the sex acts. When the events finally ended, Diddy would join the victims in receiving IV fluids to recover from the physical strain and excessive drug use. Diddy's associates would often take over from here, making sure to resupply freak-off items and delivering huge sums of cash to pay sex workers. The rapper continuously had a strong hold on his victims through promises of career opportunities, granting and threatening to withhold financial support, tracking their whereabouts, dictating victims' looks, controlling their private lives, and monitoring their medical records. The fashion designer's staff members and associates often carried firearms, and on several occasions, Diddy carried and brandished firearms to intimidate victims and witnesses to his abuse. Sometimes his cohorts witnessed moments when he got violent with victims and turned a blind eye. Instead, these associates helped Diddy conceal the violence by monitoring and stopping victims from leaving certain locations. Sometimes they were forced into hiding until the injuries were healed. Diddy's staff members were also hands-on in finding victims who attempted to escape his abuse. Not every one of Diddy's enterprise members was complacent to his dastardly acts, but it did not end well for them. According to the part of the indictment labeled as methods and means of the enterprise, witnesses and employees who challenged Diddy were subjected to terrible conditions, including reputational harm, verbal abuse, threats against finances, and on an extreme level, kidnapping and arson. This heavily reflects on the racketeering charges against him, where Diddy was reportedly involved in multiple acts of arson, kidnapping, bribery, and illegal sexual activities. It was in fact a part of the Combs Enterprise Code of Conduct that associates and members commit at least 2 acts of racketeering activity. These victims were convinced that they could not decline the rapper's requests without risking their lives, finances, job security, and emotional repercussions. Diddy displayed physical violence, leaving behind injuries that took days and weeks to heal. This brings to mind Cassie Ventura's explosive lawsuits and the details of her experience when she dated him and was signed to his record label. According to Cassie's lawsuit, filed in November 2023, her relationship with Diddy was marred by years of abuse and manipulation. The lawsuit detailed numerous instances of alleged sexual and physical assault, painting a disturbing picture of their time together. Cassie claimed that Diddy would often force her into sexual acts against her will, using his power and influence to control her. She alleged that Diddy would physically assault her, leaving her with bruises and other injuries. The lawsuit also highlighted the psychological toll that the alleged abuse took on Cassie, with claims that Diddy would isolate her from her friends and family, making her feel trapped and alone. The allegations in the lawsuit were not limited to physical and sexual abuse. Cassie also accused Diddy of financial manipulation, claiming that he would control her finances and use money as a means of control. She alleged that Diddy would withhold money from her, making it difficult for her to leave the relationship and support herself.
Yeah, I saw that coming. Most people who are involved in controlling younger people, be it their date, their spouse, their partner, their friends, they understand that money plays a very important role to control such people's mind. Yeah, just like I thought. If Cassie doesn't have enough money to keep herself going, to get a lawyer, to get all the designers she needs, she's going to come back to Diddy. She's going to come back to Diddy to get money. And Diddy's always going to keep abusing her because he knows she will always come back for that money to keep up with the standard of life. You know, as a celebrity, you have to keep up with the standard of a certain lifestyle. So I feel like they use money as a source of power to control these younger ones.
Events leading up to the lawsuit were a culmination of years of alleged abuse and control. Cassie claimed that she had tried to leave Diddy multiple times, but was met with threats and intimidation. She alleged that Diddy would use his influence in the industry to sabotage her career and make it difficult for her to find work. Despite the challenges, Cassie eventually found the strength to speak out and seek justice. In the same vein, Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a former producer and videographer for Diddy, filed a separate 73-page lawsuit against the rapper detailing a can of worms and how he was also allegedly sexually abused. Jones claimed that Diddy sexually harassed, drugged, and threatened him. Jones said these incidents were not isolated, but part of a broader pattern of illegal activities. He alleged that Diddy and his team were involved in drug trafficking, sex trafficking, soliciting sex workers, providing laced drinks to minors, and sexual assault. Jones's lawsuit was not just about seeking justice for himself. He aimed to expose what he described as a culture of corruption within Diddy's inner circle. Jones alleged that Diddy used his influence and resources to engage in and cover up illegal activities. He claimed that those who dared to speak out were silenced through threats and intimidation. As the lawsuit unfolded, the specific allegations made by Rodney Jones against Sean Diddy Combs and other notable figures came to light, painting a disturbing picture of the alleged activities within Diddy's circle. One of the most shocking revelations was the involvement of Oscar-winning actor Cuba Gooding Jr. Jones claimed that in January 2023, Diddy introduced him to Gooding on the rapper's yacht in the Virgin Islands. According to Jones, Diddy suggested that Gooding get to know him better and then left the two men alone in a makeshift studio. Once alone, Jones alleged that Gooding sexually harassed and assaulted him, touching, groping, and fondling his legs, upper inner thighs, back, and shoulders. The City Girls rapper and Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Young Miami, also played a significant role in Jones's lawsuit. The pair were initially linked in 2021, but were never exclusive. The most serious claim about Young Miami, whose legal name is Koresha Romeka Brownlee, was that she transported a drug called Tucci across state lines for Diddy. Tucci is described as a pink drug that is a combination of ecstasy and cocaine. Jones also claimed that Young Miami was one of the women who were paid a monthly fee to work as Diddy's sex workers. Additionally, Jones alleged that Young Miami's cousin sexually assaulted him in 2022. She allegedly burst into the bathroom and began groping Jones on Thanksgiving Day. Young Miami was not the only woman named in the suit as one of Diddy's sex workers. Jones listed both Daphne Joy Cervantes Narvaez, known as Daphne Joy, and Jade Ramey, known as Jade, as two of the other women who allegedly received a monthly stipend from Diddy. Daphne Joy, an OnlyFans model, dated 50 Cent from 2011 to 2012, and the two share a son. According to Jones, on one occasion last year, Young Miami got on a plane to bring drugs to Diddy. Jones personally witnessed Diddy doing a few lines lines of coke in his dressing room during rehearsals for the Something in the Water Festival in Virginia. When Diddy wanted Tucci, but his assistant Brendan forgot it, Christina Coram called Young, Miami, who then brought it on a private jet from Miami. Coram has explicitly been labeled as Diddy's very own Ghislaine Maxwell, in reference to Jeffrey Epstein's infamous lawsuit and controversies. Jones claimed that Coram instructed her staff to retrieve drugs so she could provide them to Diddy for his consumption. According to the complaint, Coram required Diddy's employees, including housekeepers and the chef, to carry a pouch containing cocaine, GHB, ecstasy, marijuana gummies, and Tutsi, so that Diddy's drug of choice was immediately ready when he asked for it. Jones stated that he was forced to carry one of these pouches against his will on multiple occasions. Jones also claimed that Coram instructed Diddy's son, Justin Combs, to solicit prostitutes, underage girls, and sex workers. In response to these eye-opening lawsuits from Jones, Diddy's lawyer, Sean Hawley, issued a strong statement denying all of the allegations and claimed to have overwhelming, indisputable proof that his claims were complete lies. This firm denial aimed to discredit Jones's accusations and reassure Diddy's fans and business associates. Similarly, a representative for Justin Combs, Diddy's son, told TMZ there would be legal consequences for all defamatory statements about the Combs family. What's next for Diddy as doom looms? For starters, following the unsealing of the 14-page indictment, Diddy's lawyers failed in their appeal of a judge's decision to get him bailed. While the rapper's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, revealed that he would repeal the ruling, the judge in charge said that there were no conditions that reduced the risk of witness tampering or obstruction. Although Diddy pleaded not guilty, the path has been outlined for a series of legal decisions on his case. He faces a sentence of up to life in prison if convicted of the racketeering conspiracy charges. The sex trafficking charge comes with a statutory minimum of 15 years. Experts also weighed in on the rapper's case, noting how he remains in federal custody. According to Damian Williams, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York who brought the indictment, anything is possible regarding Diddy facing the consequences of his crime alone or sharing the charges with other accomplices. It was also projected that the prosecution would likely deal with witnesses with a rough past or those admitting to engaging in criminal activities with Diddy. Furthermore, the Kyrock founder will potentially face more accusations because investigations remain active and ongoing. Authorities issued a public call for any potential victim to come forward. In the case of Diddy's associates and staff members mentioned several times in the lawsuit, the situation could lead to them becoming key witnesses. There are deductions that the absence of other accomplices behind bars could be an indication that they were cooperating with the prosecution. This brings focus to the probability that some of Diddy's co-conspirators could have been victims of violence because he secured loyalty through acts of violence and threats. The ripple effects of the investigations extend to Combs' various business ventures. His record label, Bad Boy Records, could suffer as artists and collaborators might choose to dissociate themselves from the brand. The uncertainty surrounding Combs' legal status could deter new talent from signing with the label, stunting its growth and diminishing its influence in the music industry. Existing artists might seek to terminate their contracts, fearing that the label's reputation could harm their careers. Combs' ventures in fashion, such as his Sean John clothing line, could also be at risk. The fashion industry is highly sensitive to public perception, and any association with legal troubles can be detrimental. Retailers might pull his products from their shelves, and consumers could boycott the brand, leading to a decline in sales. The financial strain on his fashion business could be significant, potentially forcing him to downsize or even shutter operations. The impact on Combs' career as an entertainer is equally profound. His ability to secure new projects, endorsements, and collaborations could be severely hampered. The entertainment industry is notoriously fickle, and the cloud of legal trouble can make Combs a less attractive option for producers, directors, and other industry professionals. His public appearances and performances might be overshadowed by questions about the investigations, detracting from his ability to connect with his audience. As the legal proceedings continue, the focus remains on the victims and their pursuit of justice. Their courage in coming forward has shed light on the dark underbelly of an industry that often prioritizes fame and fortune over accountability. The outcome of the case will have far-reaching consequences not only for Diddy, but for the music industry and society as a whole. The world watches closely as the case against Sean Diddy Combs unfolds. The indictment has revealed a disturbing pattern of abuse and exploitation, challenging the public's perception of a beloved music icon. As the truth comes to light, it is a stark reminder that justice must prevail, and that the voices of the victims must be heard and respected. Crime has tainted the legendary careers of several rappers, and Diddy is the latest public figure to be brought to book. Apparently, Kevin Hart couldn't keep the the shocking things he saw at Diddy's party to himself amid the music mogul's sex trafficking allegations. From guests setting their heads on fire to Diddy secretly taking compromising videos of everyone, Kevin's expose reveals the darkest moments of Diddy's freak-offs. Over the years, there have been several rumors about the debauchery that goes down in Diddy's secret parties, but no one has been able to get their hands on any real footage until now. Kevin Hart spilled the beans, and we are going to share details about this exclusive video.
Yo, what the f did Puff just say?
Shocking reveal from Diddy's freak-offs.
Yo, Kevin Hart, I told you Kevin Hart was on the run, after Diddy was arrested. He was supposed to shoot a movie and he skipped it and he's nowhere to be found. Jay-Z is also on the run. Jay-Z wasn't answering his phone. When Diddy tried to reach out, or his lawyer tried to reach out to Jay-Z, he was not answering the phone. So now we're about to dive in to look into some of the things that happened in this freak-off party. Let's continue. Let's go.
I just got. This is what I'm going to do, because I think they never been to a Diddy party. If you're not dancing, I just got hard.
The internet was set ablaze with the recent emergence of footage showcasing Kevin Hart hosting one of Diddy's infamous parties. The video, a candid look behind the velvet ropes, captured Hart in full command, his comedic genius steering the night's revelry. The atmosphere was electric, a visual feast of glittering lights and high spirits, with Hart's voice cutting through the din, a master of ceremonies in his element.
If you ain't talking to a girl, then you got to go, because this ain't that type of party.
The footage offered a rare glimpse into the exclusive world of Diddy's parties, with Hart's presence amplifying the intrigue. Viewers were treated to laughter, dance, and candid moments between celebrities, all under the watchful eye of the night's charismatic host. Hart's jokes resonated with the crowd, a mix of humor and audacity that only he could deliver. At the same time, Diddy's interactions with guests added a layer of enigmatic allure to the affair. At one point, Diddy is seen ordering all the men to couple up with the women, because that's how his parties go. He also asked everyone to take off their hats if they wanted to remain at the party, stating that he was the only one who could wear a hat. However, the most surprising part of the video is that his son was at the occasion.
Shouts out to Diddy's sons who look nothing like him. It's still in question.
While his sons are legal adults, allowing them to participate in such wild parties sparked media outrage. Diddy is being accused of not shielding his boys from his debauchery. No wonder one of his sons was named in a recent lawsuit against Diddy by Lil Rod. Public reaction to the footage was a maelstrom of fascination and speculation. Fans and onlookers dissected every frame, searching for clues to the true nature of these parties. Social media buzzed with discussions and debates, some expressing admiration for the unabashed display of celebrity culture, others raising eyebrows at the decadence on display. The video also sparked conversations about the boundaries of privacy and the public's insatiable appetite for a peek into the lives of the rich and famous. It was a moment that blurred the lines between private celebration and public spectacle, leaving many wondering about the stories the camera didn't capture.
Yo, come in here. No homo. We're gonna get some ladies in here though, but we're gonna make sure our breakfast fresh.
The whispers surrounding the nature of Diddy's parties have swirled like the smoke that fills the rooms where they're held. Over time, these events have evolved from mere music industry mixers into the epitome of exclusive nightlife. The evolution has been marked by a growing sense of mystery and a reputation for pushing the envelope, with rumors always one step ahead of reality. Tales of lavish themes and unrestrained indulgence have become part of the fabric of Diddy's party lore.
Register the information yet. I said, and our shit is fire.
Rumors of freak-offs and other shady activities have often been hinted at but never confirmed, adding a layer of scandalous intrigue. The parties are a space where the elite can explore the limits of their freedom, shielded from the public eye by the high walls of opulent mansions and the discretion of those fortunate enough to be invited. As the years have passed, the stories have become more elaborate, with each party seemingly trying to outdo the last. The evolution of these gatherings reflects a changing celebrity culture that increasingly merges with the realms of fashion, business, and even politics. Diddy's ability to adapt and redefine what a party can be has kept them relevant and coveted, a status symbol in an ever-shifting landscape. Yet, with evolution comes scrutiny. The more extravagant the parties, the louder the whispers become. Allegations of excess and impropriety have clung to the fringes of these events, challenging the public's perception of Diddy's brand of entertainment. Despite this, or perhaps because of it, the allure of these parties remains undiminished, a testament to their enduring place in the pantheon of pop culture phenomena. In the high-octane universe of celebrity shindigs, few can rival the spectacle of Diddy's wild parties, which have become synonymous with hedonism in high society. But what happens when comedy powerhouse Kevin Hart takes the host role at one of these notorious bashes? Rumors have long swirled about the debauchery and freak-offs that allegedly unfold behind closed doors, and now tantalizing new footage offers a glimpse into this exclusive world. As whispers turn into headlines, we peel back the velvet curtain to reveal the truth behind these sensational sensational gatherings. Are Diddy and Kevin Hart simply indulging in the ultimate expression of celebrity excess? Or is there more to these infamous festivities than meets the eye? Diddy, the hip-hop mogul and entrepreneur, has long been the architect of some of the most talked about parties in the entertainment industry. His name has become synonymous with lavish celebrations pushing extravagance's boundaries. These aren't just parties, they're cultural phenomena, spectacles that capture the imagination of fans and celebrities alike. The genesis of Diddy's party reputation can be traced back to the 1990s when he first emerged as a titan in the music world. His soirees quickly became the stuff of legend, a playground for the rich and famous where the champagne never stopped flowing and the music blared until the sun came up. Here, Diddy cemented his status as the Great Gatsby of hip-hop, hosting events that were as much about power and prestige as they were about celebration. As the years progressed, the allure of Diddy's parties only grew stronger. The guest list read like a who's who of Hollywood, with icons from music, film, and sports clamoring for an invitation to these exclusive gatherings. The parties became a symbol of success, a badge of honor for those who cut, and a source of endless fascination for those on the outside looking in. But with fame comes scrutiny, and Diddy's parties were no exception. The luxury and secrecy surrounding these events have often been a breeding ground for rumors and controversy. Whispers of wild behavior, over-the-top performances, and uninhibited revelry have become as much a part of the narrative as the parties themselves. Despite the controversies, or perhaps because of them, Diddy's parties continue to be a beacon for those seeking the ultimate night out. They represent a slice of the unattainable celebrity lifestyle for most, a world where the normal rules don't apply, and every night promises an unforgettable experience. Kevin Hart's relationship with Diddy is forged in the glimmer of the spotlight and strengthened by mutual respect and admiration. Hart, known for his electric energy and quick-witted humor, has often been the life of the party at many high-profile events. Still, his presence at Diddy's parties is particularly noteworthy. Their camaraderie is palpable, with Hart frequently spotted weaving through the crowds of guests, his laughter as infectious as the beats dropping from the speakers. Hart's role at these events transcends that of a mere attendee. He often takes on the mantle of host, a role he relishes as much as his stand-up performances. With a microphone and a captive audience, Hart becomes the ringleader, orchestrating the night's festivities with a blend of charm and cheeky bravado. His dynamic with Diddy is a dance of equals, each playing off the other's energy, creating an electrifying and intimate atmosphere. The advent of social media has dramatically transformed the perception of Diddy's parties, altering the dynamic between exclusivity and public spectacle. In an age where a single post can go viral in seconds, the once impenetrable veil of privacy that shrouded these events has been lifted, giving the world a front-row seat to the opulence and intrigue that define them. Social media has become the lens through which the masses experience the grandeur of Diddy's soirees. Snippets of these parties, shared by attendees and often by Diddy himself, serve as digital invitations to the wider public. Each post, story, and tweet adds to the mythology, building a narrative that is part reality, part carefully crafted image. But some of those who have attended these parties have much to say. Some are good, others are not. Some celebrities, like Jamie Foxx, have openly shared their awe at the scale and energy of these parties. Foxx in particular has spoken about the magnetic pull of Diddy's celebrations, where the spectacle of wealth and celebrity is on full display. For Foxx, it was the beginning of a long-standing tradition. He claims the parties themselves were nothing short of legendary. Held at Diddy's opulent homes in New York and Los Angeles, they were a spectacle of luxury and excess. Jamie Foxx, a regular by now, witnessed the evolution of these gatherings from mere parties to legendary nights that defined an era. Among the constellation of memories Jamie Foxx has shared about Diddy's parties, certain anecdotes stand out, painting a vivid picture of these events' unique experiences.
He threw a party and he said, "Yo, Playboy, this party costs $1.5 million. I'm like, you are out of your mind.
One such story that Foxx fondly recounts is the unforgettable white party held every Labor Day weekend. At one of these iconic parties, the entire estate was transformed into a sea of white, with every guest, including Foxx, adhering to the strict dress code, creating an ethereal atmosphere. Foxx recalls the sheer star power in attendance, with celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio, Ashton Kutcher, and Naomi Campbell mingling among the crowd. The night was a celebration marathon, with Diddy leading the charge, ensuring the energy never waned. His admiration for Diddy's parties has put Foxx under scrutiny, especially in recent weeks, as Diddy got slammed with multiple sexual abuse lawsuits and sex trafficking investigations. Artists like 50 Cent have publicly distanced themselves from these events, with 50 Cent's candid remarks about feeling uncomfortable at the party sparking conversations about the true nature of the festivities.
Uncomfortable. I think I belong in the girls' bathroom.
Beyond that, 50 Cent is allegedly working on a surviving Diddy documentary that aims to shed light on all the sexual trafficking and sexual abuse allegations against the music mogul. If the rumors are true and 50 Cent can gather enough dirt on Diddy, Diddy would be done, or Diddy done in 50's own words. For some, it's a matter of personal preference, choosing to avoid what they perceive as an atmosphere that doesn't align with their values or comfort levels. For others, it's a statement against what they see as the party's problematic aspects, from the treatment of guests to the rumored behaviors that take place behind closed doors. Lindsay Lohan, who was a fixture in the party scene and no stranger to the highs and lows of celebrity life, expressed that Diddy's parties were too wild even for her tastes. This sentiment was echoed by Wendy Williams, the media personality known for her candid commentary, who also felt that the extravagance and wildness of Diddy's parties were excessive. Cassandra Ventura, known as Cassie, who had been closely associated with Diddy professionally and personally, hinted at the intensity of these events, suggesting that they were not for the faint of heart. Lil' Kim, another powerhouse in the rap industry, was disturbed by the level of drug use she witnessed at these events. Her unease was indicative of a broader concern about the normalization of drug consumption at industry parties, where the pressure to partake could be immense and the consequences overlooked in the name of a good time. She also allegedly complained about how Diddy mistreats women. Her concerns highlighted a darker aspect of the party culture, where the treatment of female guests and the portrayal of women could be demeaning. This serious allegation pointed to a culture of disrespect that could fester in environments where excess went unchecked.
Yeah, I feel that's the thing. You cannot have yourself involving in this kind of freaky party by celebrities, and not to get disrespected in some way or be forced into something you don't want to do. So just be less assured that everything is not going to go the way you think it's going to go. They have the way of always doing things. They can drug you, they can, manipulate you, they can go several routes just to get their way to you.
Adding to the chorus of concerns was Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, who provided an insider's perspective on the wildness of these parties.
There's no way that you know what happens in Diddy party and you're supposed to be a Christian. You understand? You're supposed to be his spiritual advisor, and you up in this party.
His accounts added credibility.
Yeah, Gene Deal used to be Diddy's bodyguard, and he has been spilling a lot of secret about Diddy lately, since last year actually. He has been spilling a lot of secret, and I think he has really been in a part of exposing Diddy from the inside, like being Diddy's bodyguard for that long. So Gene Deal has been out spilling out the beans, trying to let people know what's been going on and who Diddy really is and some of his atrocities. I mean, it's sad to know that some Christians were in that party too. Anyway, let's keep watching. A lot is yet to be exposed, here.
To the claims of overindulgence and lack of restraint, painting a picture of events where the pursuit of pleasure often eclipsed personal safety and well-being. Gene Deal has exposed so many dark secrets Diddy was trying to hide, and most of them correspond with the recent lawsuit allegations against Diddy. The complaints were not isolated incidents, but part of a growing narrative that suggested a pattern of behavior and an environment that many found troubling. The stories shared by these artists and insiders began to overshadow the previous allure of the parties, raising questions about the cost of such extravagance and the impact it had on those who attended. As the complaints became more public, they served as a wake-up call to the industry. The parties that had once been the ultimate symbol of success and the place to be seen were now being scrutinized for the values they promoted and the behaviors they encouraged. This shift in narrative marked a significant moment in the legacy of Diddy's parties, as the voices of dissent grew louder and the call for change became more urgent. Diddy has been accused of using these freak-offs as a front to pick up girls for his sex trafficking operation, the darker side of Diddy's freak-offs. Beneath the veneer of unbridled joy and celebration, a darker narrative has emerged from the shadows of Diddy's freak-offs. Allegations have surfaced over the years, painting a grim picture of what might lurk beneath the surface of these storied gatherings. Whispers of sexual assault and harassment have been echoed by partygoers who claim their experiences at these events were marred by violations that left them feeling vulnerable and exposed. The accusations extend to the gravest of claims, with some reports suggesting a sinister connection to sex trafficking. These allegations point to a network that operates operates in the underbelly of the party scene, where the exploitation of the vulnerable is said to be overlooked in favor of the hedonistic pursuits of the powerful. It's a chilling thought that such heinous activities could be happening amid what many perceive to be the pinnacle of entertainment extravagance. The parties, once the epitome of exclusivity and glamour, now face scrutiny as tales of spiked drinks and unchecked predatory behavior come to light. Lawsuits have begun to pile up, each one a damning indictment of the supposed safe havens that Diddy's parties were believed to be. The lack of security and the absence of accountability all add up to a culture where the lines of consent are obscured by the haze of intoxication and the allure of celebrity. These revelations cast a long shadow over the legacy of Diddy's events. They serve as a reminder that behind the glitz and the glam, there are real people with real experiences that can no longer be ignored. As the truth continues to surface, the world watches with bated breath to see the outcome of these grave accusations. Will justice be served, or will the silence of the night swallow the cries for help? The story is still unfolding, and the final chapter is yet to be written. The allure of Sean Diddy Combs' parties took a turn toward controversy when allegations surfaced about the privacy of those in attendance. In a startling revelation, it was claimed that Diddy had installed hidden cameras throughout his luxurious properties. These covert devices were allegedly placed in every room, capturing guests' actions without their knowledge or consent. The implications of these allegations were severe, suggesting a breach of trust between the host and his high-profile guests. Hidden cameras raised questions about the boundaries of celebrity and personal space. It wasn't just a matter of privacy, it was a potential legal quagmire, with accusations hinting at the recording of illegal activities. There were also allegations of illegal drug use. Reports began to circulate that these high-profile events were not just fueled by music and dance, but also by the presence of substances like cocaine and marijuana. The parties, described by some as drug-fueled, were rumored to have drugs readily available to guests. The legal ramifications of these allegations were significant. In a high-profile incident, an individual was arrested at Miami Airport with suspected narcotics in their possession. This arrest sent ripples through the celebrity circles and raised questions about the connection between the drugs and Diddy's party. Although there was no direct evidence linking the seized substances to Combs, the incident added to the growing concerns about what transpired behind the closed doors of his lavish events. The magnetism of Sean Diddy Combs' parties was not solely due to the opulence of the venues or the rumored indulgences, but was significantly amplified by the constellation of stars that graced these events. The guest list read like a who's who of the entertainment industry, with famous athletes, political figures, renowned artists, and international dignitaries all making appearances. The presence of such high-profile names lent an air of legitimacy and exclusivity to the gatherings, making an invitation a coveted token of one's status in the social hierarchy. Amidst the glitter and revelry of Sean Diddy Combs' parties, a more sinister narrative emerged with allegations of sex trafficking and the involvement of sex workers and underage girls. These claims painted a troubling picture of exploitation and coercion, far removed from the carefree image of celebrity partying. Accusations surfaced that guests were made to sign non-disclosure agreements, adding a layer of secrecy and control to the already exclusive events. The legal and ethical implications of these allegations were profound. If true, they suggested a gross abuse of power and a blatant disregard for the law and human dignity. The involvement of minors in commercial sex acts would not only be a moral failing, but also a criminal offense, subjecting Diddy and his associates to potential legal consequences. They raised serious questions about the responsibilities of the rich and powerful in protecting vulnerable individuals. The alleged actions, if proven, would represent a dark underbelly to the high life of celebrity life, where the veneer of exclusivity and luxury could mask the exploitation of the vulnerable. Adding to the legal drama, Cassie Ventura, a former long-term partner of Diddy, came forward with her harrowing claims. Ventura alleged that she was coerced into participating in activities that aligned with Diddy's voyeuristic fantasies, involving multiple male prostitutes while Diddy observed and recorded the encounters. Tiffany Red, a close friend of Ventura, supported these allegations with her own account of witnessing Ventura being pressured into these acts. The legal entanglement surrounding Sean Diddy Combs escalated when Rodney Lil Rod Jones filed a lawsuit, levying serious accusations against the hip-hop mogul. Jones's lawsuit claimed that Diddy's parties were a front for more nefarious activities, including sex trafficking. The legal documents painted a grim picture of the alleged exploitation and privacy violations occurring within the walls of Diddy's luxurious estates. As the stories of Diddy's parties and the ensuing legal battles hit the headlines, the court of public opinion was in session. Social media platforms and news outlets buzzed with discussions and debates over the veracity of the claims and the implications for Diddy's image. Among the voices contributing to the conversation was 50 Cent, a rapper with a history of feuding with Diddy. He took to social media to mock mock his rival, expressing a keen interest in obtaining the alleged compromising footage from the parties. His comments fueled the fire, highlighting the schadenfreude that some felt in the face of Diddy's legal troubles.
Yo, 50 Cent and Diddy has always been like cat and dogs or cat and rat. They've never been in good time, like after their friendship ended. So I think 50 Cent saw this as an opportunity to, expose Diddy, bring him down, talk about him, petty talks, and make a joke out of his situation.
Public's fascination with the scandal was undeniable, as the salacious details of the allegations proved irresistible to many. However, the reaction was not uniformly negative. Some fans and industry insiders came to Diddy's defense, cautioning against a rush to judgment without concrete evidence. The impact on Diddy's public image was palpable. Once celebrated for his business acumen and contributions to music and fashion, Diddy now found his name mired in controversy. The allegations threatened to overshadow his accomplishments and redefine his legacy, not as a trailblazing artist and entrepreneur, but as a central figure in a series of scandalous accusations. The situation also sparked a dialogue on the exploitation of fame. The allure of celebrity parties, often seen as gateways to success and recognition, can create environments where power dynamics are skewed and exploitation can occur under the guise of networking and opportunity. The presence of sex workers and allegations of sex trafficking at Diddy's parties highlighted the potential for abuse in settings where the lines between professional and personal interactions are blurred. These incidents prompted introspection within the industry, questioning the responsibility of those in power to ensure safe and respectful environments. The discussions emphasized the need for clear boundaries and the importance of consent, pushing for a cultural shift that prioritizes the dignity and autonomy of all individuals in the entertainment sphere. As the founder of Bad Boy Entertainment, his music label has been synonymous with some of the biggest hits and names in hip-hop. However, the scrutiny from these allegations could lead to a re-evaluation of partnerships, with artists and collaborators possibly distancing themselves to protect their reputations. What makes it worse is the recent federal raid of Diddy's mansions in connection to sex trafficking allegations. The long-term effects on Diddy's career depend on the outcomes of the legal proceedings and his ability to navigate the court of public opinion. The entertainment mogul's response to these challenges could either mitigate the damage or exacerbate the impact on his legacy and business ventures. The fallout from these allegations is not just personal, but legal. The act of spiking a drink is a criminal offense, one that carries with it the weight of the law and the condemnation of society. For a figure like Diddy, whose name is a brand and whose brand is an empire, the accusations add a layer of complexity to his legacy. As the stories of spiked drinks and their consequences circulate, they cast a pall over the glittering images of Diddy's parties. Diddy isn't just struggling with accusations of throwing wild parties. There are currently several rape lawsuits against Diddy. Joy Dickerson Neal filed one. She claimed that Diddy drugged and raped her in 1990. Liza Gardner said Diddy coerced her into having sex with him and choked her until she fell unconscious in the process. Another suit filed by Jane Doe stated that Diddy gang raped her along with two of his associates 20 years ago. According to this lawsuit, she was still in high school when they invited her to New York, drugged her, and took turns raping her violently. The suit states, Miss Doe has lived with her memories of this fateful night for 20 years, during which time she has suffered extreme emotional distress that has impacted nearly every aspect of her life and personal relationships. Keep in mind that Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy also included instances of rape. Apart from manipulating her career and making her have sex with other men while he watched, Diddy also forced himself on her when she tried to leave him. On other occasions, he beat her up violently and
Yo, man, this guy is calm. I mean, he's just evil. And I feel like everything he has done is beginning to catch up with him. That is karma. That is karma for real. So everything we're watching here is just his karma coming up, like to catch up with him. And I'm really glad that most of the ladies who were abused many years ago have the courage now to come out and accuse Diddy about his past
forced his
crime.
bodyguards to confine her to her home until she was fully healed from the injuries. Diddy and his team claimed the entire lawsuit was false. Yet, they settled the case one day later for an undisclosed amount. It is a common notion that innocent people do not settle multi-million lawsuits. So if Diddy didn't do it, why is he trying to shut her up? While Cassie's case was settled swiftly out of court, it opened the floodgates of Diddy's sea of destruction. Cassie's courage inspired other alleged victims to step up and tell their stories. The ripple effect of these allegations eventually led to the federal raid of Diddy's homes. However, no charges have been laid against Diddy yet. The only person who was arrested in his inner cycle was Diddy's alleged drug mule. According to a police report obtained by NBC News, Brendan Paul, 25, was apprehended for allegedly carrying cocaine and marijuana-infused candy. Paul, an associate of Combs, has previously been named as his drug and gun mule in the civil lawsuit filed by Lil Rod. He has been released on bail but faces charges of possessing cocaine and a controlled substance. While the investigation continues, federal officials have conducted search warrants on Combs' properties in Los Angeles and Miami. Additionally, several individuals in New York City have been interviewed concerning allegations of sex trafficking, sexual assault, and the solicitation and distribution of illegal narcotics and firearms. A hearing for Paul has been scheduled for April 24th. There have been speculations that the feds might try to flip Brendan against Diddy for a lighter sentence. As a close associate, Brendan may have incriminating eyewitness testimonies that are enough to bring Diddy down and make him R. Kelly's cellmate. Remember how R. Kelly kept evading justice until it eventually caught up with him? Diddy might be facing a similar challenge if the allegations against him hold any weight in the eyes of the law. As the story unfolds, more details about the darker side of Diddy's life and businesses will come to light. Watch the next video for more exciting clips.
Yo, so we've come to the end of that video. I hope you really enjoyed it and got informed about what's happening with Diddy's arrest, Diddy's case, and Jay-Z's fleeing away from, the whole situation. But anyway, thank you so much for watching with me, but I have to go now. I really appreciate your time. Click, share, and subscribe. You know how we do. Love you.